think so, yeah. Now this vent under here, is that a static? Okay. That one sometimes looks like it's okay. Right. Okay.
And so, like, if you want to
Right. I see. Yeah, it's supposed to warm up again for this weekend, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna check the wind right now. $120 at 11. I got. So I guess we're on 1-4 again.
Yeah. Okay, so today, you can go ahead. I'll pull on the front here.
All right.
So we talked about what we're going to do.
Right.
Ideally, I'm going to sit there quietly and let you do it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about when we re-enter the pattern?
Right now?
Yeah, I mean, like before we get up to like, I don't know what to call.
All right. Well, if we're on 1-4, I'm gonna, like you said, cross west of the airport.
Yeah, so if we're going west off of 1-4. Now, here's the thing. The FAA, like we talk about entering the downwind.
Right.
The FAA recommends at an uncontrolled airport that you exit on the downwind leg. So, you know, we come up, left turn, downwind, 1,700 feet, direct west.
Okay. At the end of the downwind.
Nope, 1,700 or above. When you're climbing out. So say we're climbing to 3,000. So that's the recommended procedure.
So we're up and in the pattern, then heading
but
west.
Instead of leveling off at 1,600 or 1,700, we're going to continue our climb to 3,000. Once you're above pattern altitude, you can go wherever you want. Okay. Typically what I do, coming off of 1-4, unless there is reported traffic to the south, we'll come straight out, climb to pattern altitude, and then make a right turn.
Okay.
I mean, it just saves you some zipping around.
Okay.
Not only that, but also, I mean, being that this airport butts right up against Milwaukee's Charlie airspace,
and you're coming around there. Yeah,
right. I mean, it keeps you more clear of that airspace.
Okay.
Now, if you are sitting at the runway, you're about to take off, or you're on the takeoff roll, and you hear someone report, you know, traffic to the south or southwest or southeast, anything to the south, then you would want to do that left turn downwind departure.
Or maybe any traffic at all that's in the pattern too, or
not necessarily. Most guys are going to be left. They're going to be left traffic, so might as well stay out of their way completely. So I mean, again, it's completely legal for us to do that because we climb above pattern altitude on runway heading. Yeah. And then we make a right turn. I usually tell people that's what I'm doing, you know. So like on the departure call, departing runway 14, straight out to 1,700, right turn westbound.
Okay.
You know, that's what I say.
And then when we, well, go ahead.
For a downwind departure, then you would just call in a downwind departure to the southwest. You know?
Okay. And if we do that, can we? Will we still be north of Sylvania?
Oh yeah.
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 You don't go south of it.
I mean, 1,700, 30-degree bank, right turn. We're basically passing about a mile south of the airport.
Okay.
And so, I mean, the nice thing about that, now if we do a downwind departure, we'll hit 1,700 probably on the downwind.
Yeah.
And then we're going to turn southwest, and then we're going to turn west. Whereas if we just do that right turn, it's a right turn, westbound, off you go. But again, pay attention to any traffic in the
Right.
area. If there's someone coming in from the south, you don't want to necessarily turn into them.
Okay.
So that would be an appropriate.
And then coming back in, we're gonna hug the shoreline
right
till we get to 45 downwind.
Yeah, so just remember, I mean, we have the airport in the center here, right?
Right.
We're coming from the southwest. When you get to about 2 miles, maybe 3, you're going to be at 2,000 or 2,500 feet. You want to be at least 500 feet above traffic pattern altitude. And then you're going to kind of execute that circling maneuver,
Right.
where you're looking at the DME on the GPS, and it's going to say, 2.5.
Right.
If it clicks to 2.4, turn to the right a little bit.
Okay.
Clicks to 3.0, turn to the left a little bit. And after you're doing that a few times, you'll just have landmarks in the area here that, but it teaches you to kind of fly that arc around the airport.
Okay.
Now we stay at minimum of 2,200 feet while doing that, because the approach path for runway 4, a lot of guys are shooting ILSs on there, doing approaches. So if we're at 2,200 feet, we're safe. If we're at 25, we're even safer.
Okay.
So you want to stay up there until you cross the approach or the departure path of 1-4. So I mean, just in case someone blasts off out of here and doesn't care that you're there.
Okay.
And then just be very vigilant around airports and navigational aids, because that's where airplanes tend to congregate. So.
Right. I was doing it, but then I realized after, should I have been audibly doing it for myself?
If it helps you remember, then yes.
Okay.
It's up to you. I mean, I verbalize a lot of stuff. I'm not necessarily saying it. I'm just mumbling it, kind of like.
Right.
I mean, but that will help you a little bit. And the flow check is pretty quick. I mean, especially when you get used to what you're looking at in here. I mean, it's going to be, trim, choke, both fuel, flaps, lights, radios, boom, boom. I mean, it should take you about, 20 seconds?
Yeah.
I mean.
And then the landing checklist as well?
The after landing checklist, you do that every time.
Okay.
So when
to
you
make sure
the runway,
the carb heat is off and all that. Right.
One thing to be aware of though too is when you're doing your after landing checklist, like say you come in on 1-4, you exit on Alpha, and you stop. If there's another airplane behind you, just be aware that they might be right behind you and wanting to exit on the same spot.
That's not much of a list anyway, so.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's carb heat, and you can do that as a flow too. Carb heat, landing light. Flaps.
I don't have my logbook. Should I go grab it or?
Yeah, might as well, just in case. I mean, we'll see what the wind is doing up there, but
Oh.
Gotta
do that.
Can I take that with you? Runs like a triathlete.
Yeah.
What would you say is your strongest event and your weakest event? Or are you pretty solid on everything?
I'm solid on everything, but swimming is probably, compared to other people, might be biking. Biking and swimming. Running is definitely my.
So you make up your time?
No, is not my best.
Oh, running's not your best?
Yeah, I mean, a guy blew past me running a 4.5 minute mile. I was doing 6.5, so.
Yeah, that's my wife. She was the same way. She's a very strong swimmer. She's a good biker, but she was not the strongest runner.
Honestly, I don't. I won't win a bike race or a running race or a swimming race, but when you put them all together, then I'm really good. Just because I'm good at all of them, I'm not great at any of them. So it's kind of like, I thought, when I first did triathlon, because, I don't win running races and stuff. And I knew I was a decent biker, but then I was like, oh, geez, guess I'm pretty good at it.
Running at the end too is probably.
Yeah, that's the least favorite part for me.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Control surfaces free. Oh, wrong list here. Pre-flight complete. Then removed. Parking brake set. Seatbelts. Carb heat off. Breakers in. Choke off. Clear.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. So it's idling a little low, so I just bumped it up into the bottom of the green there. Okay. Alright, we got brakes and steering. Alright. And, you know what, I want to stop here and set the gas. Okay. Can you hand me the checklist, please? Thank you. Alright, ready? Yes, sir.
Receiving traffic, 921 Kilo, taxiing to runway 04. Oh, 14.
There you go.
Receiving traffic, 921 Kilo, taxiing via Alpha to runway 14, receiving.
There you go.
Alright. On the way here it was 4, that's where I got confused.
Okay. Yeah, I mean last call it was 130 at 13, so almost right down runway 4.
Yeah, it was 070 on the way here, I was like...
Yeah.
Alright, same as yesterday then.
Yeah. Alright, 2-2 is clear. So remember, time out, I have the airplane. Just remember, when we do this, so, you know, we're looking down there, no airplanes coming. See how I come past this line a little bit?
Okay.
And then I do a hard angle over to the left like this, and that takes away our blind spot from the wing. We can see right down runway 4. And I do that wide like this, because now that we've confirmed that it's clear, we just come right back onto our line here. Now, we do have a tailwind quartering. It's actually probably a straight tailwind, so you're just going to want to hold this stick forward and make sure the controls aren't bouncing around. And then go ahead and call that we're crossing the runway.
Receiving traffic, 921 Kilo, crossing 422 on Bravo.
Okay. On your initial taxi call, just make sure you tell them where you're coming from. You know, so south ramp, taxi to runway 14.
Okay.
It does look a little breezier than what it's saying, though. See if we're going to get rocked around up there a little bit. So now, even as we're sitting here, just make sure that the controls don't start jumping around, especially if it gets gusty out.
Okay.
So, I mean, sometimes what I do is I'll just lock my knees on it, just to make sure that it's not flying around.
Alright. Bag deal. One, two. 1, 2. On to the left. On to the right. Engine and generator light off. Gauges all look good. Alright, that looks good. Now, do I reset the barometer up here? I mean, are we going uphill here?
What do you mean?
I mean, it changes from 670 to 680 going up here, or?
You can adjust it as you see fit.
Okay.
Plus or minus 10 feet isn't end of the world.
Okay. Is that a good zoom level, would you say, or?
For takeoff, it'll zoom out. So like if you set in a route to like Dubuque, Iowa, after you take off, it's going to be really zoomed out. Okay. And so then you'll want to zoom it in with the range button there.
Okay. And now, does this have weather? If you see something,
yeah,
you just hit the weather button? Or?
So you see WX there?
Right.
So if you take this and you dial it 2 clicks to the right, X-Rad radar is on there, and now you just zoom in. Now it won't have your route on there,
right?
But you can at least see if there's, some weather out there.
Okay. All right. Low check here. We got throttle at idle, crank currently set, choke off, trim set, mags on both, fuel on. Got the battery and generator on, PLT armed, flaps at 0, lights are on, ending light on. App is set, altimeter set on alt. We got Sylvania and Racine. Gauges are in the green. And
yep, carb heat's off.
Carb heat's off, traffic's on. Alright, that's it. And we're going to be taking off to the west.
Alright, so we're going to climb straight out to 1700, right turn to the west. So now, before you take off, make sure you verify final and base are clear. Haven't heard anyone on the radio. Runway's clear. When you take the runway full power, you're going to verify airspeed alive, full power, no alarms. By then you'll be ready to rotate.
Okay. Racine traffic, 921 kilo, departing runway 14, heading to the west.
Racine. Yeah, I mean. Okay. Losing engine or any kind of alarms, funny smells or sounds on the runway, power to idle, roll straight ahead. Off the ground below 500, landing straight ahead, plus or minus 30 degrees of heading. 500 or above, we're going to be doing, it's pretty much down the runway, but probably a left turn into the wind since it was calling 130. Return to the airport. You'd initially be pitching for 68 and then getting flaps in.
Right.
We haven't done that, have we?
Yeah.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Emergency?
Yeah, the 500-foot engine cut?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't do it here.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Alright.
At some point we'll do it.
Airspeed alive.
Full power, no flags.
41. Rotate.
Little right rudder, there you go. So remember, as you rotate, it's going to yaw that nose left and take you off center line. So you need just a little bit of right rudder because of our left turning tendencies, right?
Right.
Engine failure.
Pitching for 68. Back.
Hold on. Racine traffic 921 kilos, simulated engine failure on takeoff, returning to the airport, Racine. Okay, at this point you'd be doing, get it around, notch flaps. Now you're going to be landing with the tailwind. We might even put it on the grass there. Alright, full power. All centered. Runway heading out. You can see how that happens.
Yeah.
And how you really got to be careful. So, keep her climbing. Alright, safe altitude. Here comes your flaps coming out, so just watch your airspeed. Flaps are 0. And climbing at 73, and left turn to the southwest, please. So you can see, I mean,
that happens in a hurry, yeah.
Yep, that's why it's so important to have that plan,
right?
You know, verbalized before you do it. I mean, hopefully that never happens. That's kind of the nightmare scenario, an engine failure below 500 feet.
Right.
But that's why, I mean, you can see how quick that happened. And I mean, you know, there's going to be 2 to 3 seconds of hesitation when that happens. And having that plan in place. Altitude at your discretion, take us to Eagle Lake, please.
All right.
Receive traffic 921 Kilo is a mile and a half to the southwest, departing to the west for scene. So at this point, you'd probably want to monitor Sylvania.
Okay. Water tone.
Now, there's a lot of different airports on that frequency. There's probably 8 or 9 different airports that we can hear.
Okay.
So you want to keep your eyes or your ears open, listening for Sylvania traffic.
Right.
The guy that flies the jump plane has a pretty distinguishable voice, and it'll be. If it's broken like that, it's probably not for us.
Right.
But I mean that engine cut thing.
Yeah.
It has happened to lots of people, you know, and it's something to be very vigilant about. My grandpa actually had it happen to him, and the guy that he was flying with was killed.
Wow.
So, you know, I mean, they crashed. I don't know if they were 500 feet trying to make the turn, but it was an engine failure right after takeoff, and my grandpa got busted up pretty good, and the guy with him died. So.
Now, in that case, might have we been better? Well, obviously not, because we made it around. I mean, to not, you know, to go straight.
Yeah, see, now in that situation, as you saw, the one thing about this airplane that's a little bit different from most other general aviation aircraft is this thing floats really well. It's a very low drag airplane. So the problem you might actually encounter is that you're going to float past the end of the runway. So, in this airplane, it might be an acceptable idea to almost line up for like 2-2 in that situation, where you kind of do that left turn, you're on a left base, and straight into 2-2.
That's kind of what I was thinking in my head, and then when we turned, we were kind of not lined up with anything, so.
Yep. And so you can see that, I mean, as we came on that left turn, as we basically hit the crosswind, like we were, you know, so the wind is this way and we came this way.
Yeah.
That'd be a good time to whack those flaps in, because it's going to give you that, it's like a sail, it's going to give you that little extra push getting you around.
Right.
Pay very close attention to the ball and your airspeed when that happens. Fly the airplane, you know?
And I'm seeing the long buildings. Just past that is Sylvania?
Just north of it.
Just north of it.
You can see the blue hangars with the white roof. There's 3 facing east-west.
Yeah.
And 1 facing north-south. Right on the north side of that is the runway. Now the jump plane, there's a big hangar. Do you see the airport right now?
I mean, I see the long building. It's past. Oh, it's north of that.
Yeah. So there's the long building, trees, a field, more trees, and then an airport.
Okay, I see it now.
So the jump plane flies out of the...
Is that a grass strip?
It has a grass parallel. So it's got a pavement runway, but paralleling it is the grass strip. I wouldn't land on that grass strip. The otter lands on it all day, and it's pretty tore up.
Okay.
I mean, not a big deal for the otter, but for us, not good.
That is a short runway, isn't it?
Yep. I mean, I think it's 2,600. It's thin, though, too. It's like 34 feet wide, so... Yeah. 2,300 foot runway, or 2,200 foot runway, 38 feet wide. So, Yeah, it's not a... If we're having problems with centerline discipline, we'll go to Sylvania or Fox River and we'll play on a thin runway, and that'll get you real comfortable with with hitting the center line.
Now what road, this is the Highway 20 then?
Highway 20 is the one with the curve here, so we're basically right over it. Yeah, so wind right now is 120 at 15 gust into 18 is what the new METAR says.
Okay.
So 15 gust and 18, that's good for us today because, you know, you take off when it's 13 and come back and it's 18.
Yeah. Is that what it is? 18 gusts?
Yeah, 15 gust and 18 right now. So now what you do then, I mean, now that's not a very big gust spread. It's only, you know, 3 knots. So usually what do you do with a gust? Say it's 10 gust into 20.
I would add 5 to my landing speed.
Exactly.
So does that iPad is linked in to the wireless networks, or?
Yeah, it's like cell phone data.
And you use Garmin?
ForeFlight.
ForeFlight? That's pretty cool. It's got the weather right on there and everything.
Yeah, it's a nice tool. I mean, for sport pilots, I am concerned about it in the sense that, first of all, you don't really need it. And it's nice for situational awareness, but people end up relying on it too much, and it's more heads down time. Whereas 85% of our flying, we should be looking outside the window here,
right,
trying to find other airplanes. People, you know, they get so deep into electronics, and it does so much cool stuff that, I mean, it's like
that's definitely an issue for me. Just because I like all that stuff, and
right.
But the more I'm up here, I'm just kind of like, D-pad and tablet, I don't really need it. I mean,
right?
Because like you said, you're just looking down the whole time.
Right.
I mean, I'll probably want to have that in here eventually because of the other.
And that's where, for me, it's you know, kind of a tug and pull. Where if used properly, it's great.
Right.
If it's distracting you, I mean, but you might not know that you're being distracted, you know? I mean, plus having it up here, well, here's another panel that's basically taking away visibility. And,
right.
So, I mean, it's kind of a, you know, the good and the bad of it.
But I saw someone, was it Al?
Yeah.
A holder up here or something?
Yeah, there's a mount on the side there. And he has the mount come off of that, and it sits like right here on his side, you know.
Yeah.
And you know,
I like the touch screen where you can just, all right, I want to head over here.
Right.
I mean, that's a little bit easier.
I mean, I'm not going to discourage people from using ForeFlight, but as long as you're aware that it can be a distraction and it can keep your head down too much, you know what I mean? That's my concern with it.
And now for the squelch, we pull?
Well, that squelch, I don't really mess with that one too much. This is the squelch otherwise that you would probably play with a little bit. Static in like 122.8 is probably just because they're out of range. So.
But if you want to check your radios when you're solo and there's nobody.
If you want to check your radios, you can call Racine Unicom and ask for a radio check. So Racine Unicom 9021 Kilo radio check. That's all you say. And then they'll say, oh, loud and clear. If you don't get an answer, it doesn't necessarily mean your radio isn't working. It might just mean that they're out fueling or something like that. And they don't hear you. So, all right, let's do a 30-degree bank turn to the left, heading up north, please. Nice and smooth out here.
Yeah.
Bumpy by the lake. All right, so look at the lake down here. You see the white streaks?
Yeah.
That's a great indication for wind direction.
Okay, that's the direction the wind's going?
Well, the wind is coming from the southeast right now. And you can see those streaks on the water. It's a nice indication of surface winds.
Right.
The other thing you can look for surface winds is, I mean, especially in the middle of summer with the tall cornfields, how they're blowing. You can see the wind blowing through those fields.
Right.
right, area's clear. Take me home.
Now, am I right? This is the 30 mark.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Each one is 10.
Yep, 10, 20, actually it's 10, 20, 30, 45, 60.
Okay. All right. Oh. Got our motor out. So
Oh, no.
pitching for 65. 68.
60.
Finding a spot to land. Going for that big green one right over there.
Okay.
I'm not really going into the wind with that though.
Wind's out of the southeast, so I mean you're not going to find probably a field that's directly in, so you're going to have a crosswind anyway.
I'm heading for that one. I'm checking the gas. We're out of gas. Mags are on both. And I'm declaring emergency with that one, right?
Yeah, go ahead and hit it and flip it, just for the good habit.
Mayday, 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 921 kilo, going down into a field, engine out, about 2 miles northeast of Eagle Lake.
Roger that, 921 kilo, squawk 7700, and report how many on board, and color of the aircraft.
Now at this point, I feel like I don't want to put flaps in yet.
Are you going into that thin green one, or you're going?
I was going to go that way.
Okay, well that's going to land you with a tailwind. So what you'd want to do is probably hit a base right here, notch your flaps, and where I would go would be this long green one. This right here. That's where I would go. So I mean, then you're into the wind, right?
Right.
Because I mean, landing north right now, you have a southeast wind. That's a tailwind.
Yeah.
So that's not going to increase your odds by any means.
And as I get lower, this looks better here. So.
Yep. Another notch of flaps. Carb heat is on. All right. Egress. Fuel would come off. Mags are off. Electrical equipment is now off. With our flaps set at 30. Our mayday call is in. All right. Passenger briefing if you have the chance to do it. All right, Maddie, we're going to crash land into this field. Tighten your seatbelt, brace yourself for impact. When the plane comes to a complete stop, open your door, go to the end of the wingtip, meet me 50 feet behind the airplane.
Okay.
Any questions?
If we're both unconscious, will they be able to open the doors?
Yeah. The fire department would smash a window. All right, we got this field made, right?
Yeah.
All right, go around procedure, full power. Flaps to 15. Carburetor heat off. And we're climbing at 61.
61.
You have the airplane.
I have the airplane.
Yep, so be real careful with that wind direction. And that's why it's important to always have an idea of where the wind is coming from.
Right. All right. I would say we're at a safe altitude. Flaps off. Climb at 73.
Okay. Right turn to the west, please. Yeah, so the major problem on that one was choosing the wrong field, right?
Yeah.
So... like when I'm flying across country, every few minutes I'm sitting there thinking to myself, where's the wind coming from? What would I do if my engine quit right now?
Right.
I mean, it's going to catch you off guard if it happens, but at the same time, if you're at least thinking about it periodically throughout your flight, that won't catch you quite by surprise.
Right.
And all sorts of things kill engines. It could be a clogged fuel vent. It could be, running out of gas. It could be just a motor failure,
Right.
That engine takes a crap on you. It could happen. And I had the throttle cable snap on me in this airplane. I mean, the engine was still running, and for me, I'm running that engine until I'm near an airport, unless it's on fire. At that point, I don't care if I destroy it.
Even if you had a really nice field like this, or...
Woo! There we go. Always fun. Gonna have us an adventure today, it looks like.
Yeah.
.05 is Burlington. It's about 8 miles to the west here. So that's another one I usually monitor. Alright, now set us up so that we can go home.
Okay.
And we can level off at 2500.
And let go traffic, Cessna 349, turning base, runway 8, Lake and Hills.
Burlington traffic, Cessna 766 uniform, left downwind, runway 11 Burlington. Lake and Hills traffic, Star 65 Tango, turning left crosswind, runway 8, Lake and Hills.
You know what airport he was saying? I couldn't make that.
Lake in the Hills.
Okay, let go traffic 349, turning final, runway 8, Lake and Hills. Lake and Hills traffic, Scott 25 Tangos, turning left downwind, runway 8, Lake and Hills. Lake and Hills Airport, this is Warrior 43020. We are about, we're now 00462 Foxtrot. We are about 7 miles out from the airport. We're maneuvering for a 45 for runway.
Alright, then you'll probably want to dial in Sylvania so we can monitor them.
Okay.
So now, anytime your tuning radio is working with the GPS, alright, this is how you want to do it. Say I want to go to Racine's frequency here.
Okay.
123, and I'm looking around for traffic. 07, looking for traffic, you know. So, going to 22.8, I'm looking for traffic. 122, take your hand off of it, look around. And then also check your flight instruments, obviously. 0.8, looking for traffic, verifying that you're holding altitude, airspeed, all that fun stuff.
Okay, and now I want to sure I can see where they are. Okay.
Call traffic, Cessna 82 Hotel, left base.
Correction, traffic 78, double pump flight to the west, gonna go over the top for 40 floor.
I just added a frequency. Milwaukee approach. That's another good one to listen to.
Okay.
Because he'll give a warning that the jumpers are 1 minute from jumping.
Left downwind for 14 racing traffic.
Alright, so
Traffic, Cessna 82 Hotel, final, Niner, go.
Alright, typically your initial call is where?
10 miles.
Okay. Now, on a day like today where the wind is kind of changing on you, feel free to ask for an airport advisory. So it'd be Racine Unicom, 921 Kilo, requesting airport advisory, please.
Okay.
He'll come back and give you the wind direction and the speed and all that.
Racine Commercial Airport, this is ExtraJet 536, looking for the SDO on the field. Do you hear us?
This is
Racine Unicom, I got you loud and clear.
Very good, hello, 536 X-Ray Julia, Challenger 300. We'll be with you in about 10 minutes. We got 2 passengers on board we're dropping off.
Oh boy.
And then we are picking up 4 passengers to go to LA. And we're probably gonna need catering and fuel trucks. You got all that stuff there?
Fuel truck for sure. I'll check on the catering.
We can handle that.
I'm not really sure if they want
Sounds hot.
catering. I'll look at that as well. But yeah, so we're gonna need fuel and probably a lap service.
Ooh.
A lap service?
A lab service. Emptying the toilet.
Oh.
Racing traffic 7A to Lake Bravo Papa, board across over the top.
Okay. At this point, I don't wanna.
Then a left downwind for
I don't wanna land one.
4 stop, 14 racing traffic.
Yeah, so he just put out what he's gonna do. So when someone's talking and you're inbound,
And
just
uniform for the Challenger 536. Where exactly on the field are you located?
On the west side of the field. I'll give you directions when
So we got a jet coming in.
Fine,
Like,
thank you.
do we wanna not land yet? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
well, they're 10 minutes out, and hopefully she'll make radio calls for the runway they're landing on, where they are, all that fun stuff.
Advanced traffic, incident 536, we're Challenger 300, we're approaching from the east, currently still 12 miles out. We'll be inbound for runway 22. If anybody's in there, please advise. Thank you.
So she's 12 to the east.
So, inbound traffic 7A to Lake Bravo Pump, cross for 14.
It's going a lot faster.
Within a left downwind for 14, land at 4 stop. I'll keep you advised.
Alright, that works. You should be on the ground way before we get there. Thank you.
No problem.
Alright, I didn't call it in because I don't, you know.
That's okay. I mean, the frequency was busy.
Right.
I mean, that's not the end of the world to miss that call. I'd want to at least call a 7 or an 8 mile.
Okay.
But the jet knows that we are out here and coming inbound. She'll probably still beat us, especially if we do kind of our circling maneuver.
Right.
Now, if you're alone and you're not comfortable, stay out here.
Yeah.
Until she calls base or final, you know, then okay, you know, she's going to be long gone by the time I get there. I mean, so...
Racing traffic 7A, Bravo Pump, turning left.
Or stay south of the airport a little bit, you know, I mean...
Yeah. For now, I should just keep heading in, though?
Sure.
Alright, I guess I should do a call then. Traffic, 921 Kilo, 7 miles to the west, inbound for runway 14, Racine.
Now she's probably going to respond.
Yeah. I can fly a little slower too, right?
I mean, we're only doing 65 over the ground right now,
Yeah.
so I think they'll be sipping coffee by the time we get there. Now, things to think about in advance, also with that jet as well. What if she has to do a go around?
That traffic, exit 536, Challenger 300 is about 7 miles out inbound. Visual runway 22 for Baden traffic.
So she's 7 out on a visual. She's basically going to enter a base final, and she'll turn her base probably over the lake shore over there, so they fly a much wider pattern. Be aware of that.
And a higher pattern.
Yep, so,
500.
yep, a turbine aircraft is 500 feet above our pattern altitude. So now, if we're going to enter at 2,200 feet into the traffic pattern area, just be aware that you're going to be right at her pattern altitude. Now, she's going to be north of the airport. We're going to be south of the airport, at least initially here.
Right.
Wake turbulence is something to be concerned with. Takes 2 minutes to dissipate. I mean, again, we should be fine with it, but...
And if she does a miss, she'll come straight out on 22?
Yeah, I mean, she's going to come straight out here, and I don't know where she's going to... She's either going to enter a left pattern, or call Milwaukee, and they're going to vector her.
Racing traffic, 78, double frontal, left base, turning final, 14, alignment 4 stop, racing traffic.
Kind of a nice windsock with the smoke stacks, isn't it?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And routine traffic, exit 536. We're going to do a 360 on final, give the other aircraft time to land, and we will re-enter for runway 22. Take it on.
Okay, so I got them in sight. If you look at about 12 o'clock on the horizon, I believe that is them. So she said she's going to do a left 360 for spacing, so she's already on final. And she's going to do a left 360 and reline up on final to let that other aircraft land.
Okay.
So, what I would do is call a 4 mile to the west and circling to the south for 14. Or just start doing it. So you're listening?
And routine traffic, what's your position now?
Just crossing 22, Russia be clear 22 in about 2 seconds.
Perfect, exit 536, re-entering final, full stop landing, runway 22.
Hey, receive traffic 921 kilo 4 miles to the southwest, circling south of the airport for downwind to 14 with me. Yeah, alright, that's good. Okay.
Now you see her, you said?
And receive traffic 536, full final, runway 22 will be a full stop here.
Shouldn't be a concern for us unless you hear her say that she's going around, then you're really going to keep your eyes peeled towards the end of the runway over there. So at this point, I'd probably just kind of turn us eastbound.
Okay.
And hold our altitude up here. And speed at your discretion. I mean, we can stay like this if you want. Okay, I got her. She's coming over the Corys right now. The white little dotted trees there, yep. Yeah. Alright, so now just kind of keep a half eye on her to make sure that she touches down and stops. So let's come a little to the right here just to make sure we don't fly right over the top. Be kind of aim for the harbor. That's, you know, hit the harbor, come north.
That's straight ahead there, the harbor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, she's on the ground. No problem. Now we don't have to worry about her at this point.
Okay, so now I can do another call?
Yep. And just remember, think before you key the mic and know what you're going to say. You don't want to tie up the mic because she's about to call and ask, where the hell do I go?
Right. I don't, so what I say...
Traffic, exit 536, we are clear on runway 22 and we'll taxi on Bravo 2 here to the ramp.
She's got it.
So I would say, I'm heading south. I mean, coming in from...
I would say, receive traffic 21 kilo, 2 miles south, eastbound 2,300 to the lake shore.
Okay. Receive traffic 921 kilo, 2 miles to the south, inbound to the lake shore.
Yeah, eastbound. Don't worry about it. Now, surveying the traffic pattern right now, I don't see anyone waiting to take off on 14. I don't see any other aircraft moving around. I don't see any other aircraft up in the area here. Look up and down the shoreline. And if it's clear, we can start our descent down to 1600 and just go ahead and enter a crosswind. that is an acceptable thing to do.
Okay.
You would think uncontrolled airports would be easier, but in a lot of ways they're a lot harder.
Yeah.
Going to a control tower, they would vector us in for a right base to 1-4 and we'd be on the ground already. Like right now, I'd go ahead and enter the crosswind. So when you're doing a crosswind on this runway, you'd probably want to go just about right over the top of the 3-2 numbers, because you can be reasonably assured that no one's going to climb to 1,700 feet by the end of the runway there.
Okay.
Whereas if you're a mile and a half off the end of the runway at 1,700, there's plenty of airplanes that are capable of climbing that.
You want me to fly down to that, or?
Just enter a crosswind right here, and then you can call a crosswind.
Receive traffic 921 kilo, entering crosswind for runway 14, receive.
Alright, so as we're on the crosswind here, there's no one on the runway, no one at the whole short line for 14. Looking out to the right for the downwind, making sure no one's sneaking in. Same with the 45-degree angle over here. So 1600 coming up, we'll hold our speed around 80, and then just do your normal landing. This is basically a crosswind. Watch your altitude, there you go. Alright, downwind is clear. I don't see anyone over here. Yeah. Get some altitude back. Okay. Alright, you got the airplane?
I have the airplane. Receive traffic 921 kilo, downwind 14, receive.
Remember, it is gusty out.
Trying to add some speed here.
Yeah, I'd probably bring it at 60.
Receive traffic 921 kilo, base 14, receive.
Okay, finals clear.
The wind's still basically straight on though?
Yeah. See the windsock over there? It's pretty much straight down, maybe a little from the right. Kind of moving back and forth a little bit.
Receive traffic 921 kilo, final 14, receive.
I mean, it's probably like variable by 10 or 20 degrees.
Yikes, she's bouncing around.
Yep, drive it in. You can see with that crosswind, we're going to need a lower right rudder. You got it. Nope, don't push forward. Nice and easy, don't. Nice and calm on the stick there. Yep, so too much of this, and that's going to smash our nose wheel. Let's try another one. Full power. I just want you to get somewhat comfortable with these.
Right.
Full power, full power, full power. Rotate. We're out of here.
I feel like I'm...
Receive traffic 21 kilo, touch and go. 14, left close, receive. What's that?
I feel like when you're saying right rudder, I'm putting left rudder in because the nose is going off that way. Is that...
Well, I mean, we were cocked to the left. Now with the right crosswind, it should bring your nose around. Yeah. And actually, you should probably need left rudder with the right crosswind to square the nose up. So, winds are swirling around a little bit. Pretty rare that it's bumpier near the lake here than it is out to the west. But just don't get too crazy with that, and especially if you balloon a little bit, don't throw that nose forward, because you could lose that gust instantly, and now you're nose down, whack, you know, and you go. We got a smashed up front end, which is rather expensive.
Traffic 921 kilo crosswind 14 received. Traffic 921 kilo downwind 14 received. We got our flaps on, the flap fuse. Alright. That was helpful. Receive traffic 921 kilo, base 14 receive. I know where that fuse thing is now.
Yeah.
And if the fuse didn't fix it, I would just land with no flaps.
Yep. Or there is, you can do them manually down. You bring this all the way down.
Okay. Racine traffic 921 kilo, final 14 Racine.
Now in gusts like this, when you come in with a little extra airspeed, just be aware that you're going to float longer if the gust stays. So don't go into the flare too early.
Okay.
That wind right there. Yeah. Nice and easy, nice and easy. There you go. Alright. Alpha. Alpha we go. Now if you ever get into a really hard crosswind and gusty wind, after you touch down all three mains, if you want to come up and whack the flaps to -6, it kills a lot of lift off the wing. It'll kind of keep you from wanting to flip.
Okay.
And then just be aware of your crosswind control. Say this was like a 40-degree crosswind.
Yeah.
With gusts, you definitely want to start getting that crosswind control in as soon as all three mains are down.
Traffic 921 kilo, clear of runway 14 Racine.
Okay, after You can if you want. I mean,
that's us, the south ramp.
Yep.
Received traffic 921 kilo on Alpha heading to the south ramp. Received.
Yeah, probably don't solo with the wind gusting around. And
pretty bouncy up there.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I have an intro flight next too, so strangely enough, it's smoother to the west, so maybe we'll head west. Very persistent bird up there, not going very far.
Is that the jet that landed, you think?
Yeah, yeah. That is the Challenger.
There's your dream plane.
Nice airplane.
Well, my uncle's grounded, so.
What kind does he have again? Tri-Pacer, did you
He's
think?
got the Clipper, the Clipper, what is that? Basically a Cub, 4-seat Cub.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a sad day when a pilot gets grounded. No,
well, it's just temporary. I think he had knee surgery.
Oh, okay.
And he got a cortisone shot, and he's got like vertigo or something like that. This can happen.
Okay, I have the airplane.
Okay, you have the airplane.
Yeah, that's no good. There's my intro flight.
It's like a fun intro flight.
Yeah, intro flights are fun. I get to do the landing, so. Alright. Party brake is set. Shutdown checklist, please.
Electrical equipment off. Avionics off.
And forgot something.
Battery.
Nope.
Parking brake set. Avionics off.
It's
Electric.
included in the avionics.
Ah, the inner.
You don't want to pry that out. All checklist.
Master switch.
Nope, battery stays on. Alternator is off. So electrical equipment off, which is all that.
Okay.
Alternator off. Ignition. Master switch.
Okay.
So now the master comes off.
Alternator first. Okay.
Yep.
Ignition, then master switch.
Yep.
Okay. Write the number down.
Yep. And yeah, don't ever forget to do that because it'll confuse the crap. Because a lot of people don't check this meter before they go, and they'll end up coming back and being like, "What? Where was it?"
And maybe the guy before you wrote the wrong number.
Exactly.
And then you're paying for him.
Yep. Maybe there was a flight between us here, and they didn't do anything in the book. That happens.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important always for a solo flight, especially, check this meter compared to the book. You know.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Cool, man.
I felt a lot more comfortable today.
Good.
Even though that landing was a little bouncy, but
Yeah, just be real careful. You don't want to, when you're in ground effect, don't push that nose forward. If you balloon too high, it's power, and either...
I feel like, yeah, I do that a little bit. I think we lost some altitude real quick there.
Right,
I don't
yep.
want to slam it into the ground. So.
Yeah, that's fine. So now, if you say you flare a little fast and you balloon, the appropriate response is to relax your hand. Okay, you're not pushing forward. You're already back like this.
Okay.
And you just kind of relax your hand. If you look at what my fingers are doing here, just
Yeah.
So you're not pushing it forward.
Right.
But then that'll kind of reorient you. And say you balloon to about 15 feet, you might need to bump some power in to hold that.
Okay.
Reestablish yourself in ground effect. Back the power slowly to idle. Flare it, and then you go. If you balloon 15 feet though, that might be a consideration for.
Go around.
get out of there.
Okay.
Now, go-arounds, the lower you are to the ground, the more dangerous the go-around is. So you really have to pay attention to your airspeed and your ball as you're initiating that go-around. It's, you know, full power, flaps stay at 15, carb heat off. And that's, you know, get it climbing, okay, safe altitude, flaps to 0, continue at 73, re-enter the pattern.
Okay.
Cool?
Cool. Add that pitot cover in there if you want it, if you need it.
Okay.
The girl flying or?